We're going to talk now about the differentiation rules. The rule number 1 is called the constant rule, where if f of x is equals to c, where c is a constant, then f of x prime, or the derivative of f of x, is equal to 0. So if it is only constant, so it's automatically that the derivative is equal to 0. For example, number 1, f of x is equals to 10. So kapag constant, it means that they are not variables. So ibig sabihin yan, may exact value sila always. If it is 10, so it's always 10. If it is not a constant, usually there are variables. Example x. So kapag x siya, pwede siyang value niya is 1, pwede rin ang value is 2. So for this one, kapag 10, it's always gonna be 10. So the derivative of f of x, because 10 is a constant, is 0. For number 2, h of x is equal to negative square root of 3. So because it's a constant, so derivative of h of x is 0. So for number 3, g of x is equals to 5 pi. Pi is also a constant because pi is always equal to 3.14. Kahit na letter siya, but still, it's a constant because the value of pi is always 3.14, 15, so on and so forth, or 3.1416. So the derivative of g of x is equals to 0. So it is still equal to 0. For the rule number 2, it's the power rule. If f of x is equals to x to the r, where r is an element of real number, then the derivative of f of x is equals to r times x to the power of r minus 1. So if you notice, ang gagawin is, kopyahin mo na yung exponent na r, tapos kopyahin yung x, tapos ang r bawasan ng isa. So for example, number 1, f of x is equals to x cubed. So the derivative of f of x now is equal to, kopyahin mo na yung exponent, 3x, kopyahin yung variable na x, tapos yung exponent na 3, bawasan ng isa. So it's also equal to 3x squared. Again, kopyahin lang yung exponent first, tapos kopyahin ang variable, bawasan ng isa ang exponent. So it's always the same with this one. So kasi ganito, 1 over x squared, pwede mo yung gawing x to the negative 2. Bakit negative 2? Kasi nilipat mo siya sa numerator. Ibig sabihin, the sign of the exponent will become its opposite. So kapag positive siya, magiging negative. Kapag negative, magiging positive. Kung ito, ilipat mo siya sa baba, it will become positive. The exponent will become positive. So magiging 1 over x squared. So this is also equal with this one. So kapag ganito, so we could find the derivative which is equal to negative 2. Kopyahin yung negative 2, x, kopyahin yung negative 2, bawasan ng 1. So it's also equal to negative 2, x to the power of negative 3. If you're going to simplify this one, kung kunin mo yung positive na, kung negative na exponent, so gawin mo siyang positive, itagay mo siya sa baba. So it will become negative 2 over x cubed. This is only applicable to the negative exponent. Hindi mo pwede, kapag negative, tapos ilipad mo sa baba, magiging positive siya ang sign nitong number. So it's not like that. So it's only applicable to the exponent. For number 3, the h of x is equals to the square root of x. Kapag square root, ang ibig sabihin yan, x to the power of 1/2. Kasi may number dyan, 2. Ibig sabihin ng number na 2 dyan, yan siya ang denominator ng fraction sa exponent. So it's 1 over 2. Halimbawa kung 2 dito, kung x squared dito, so nagiging 2 over 2. Kung 3 dito, 3 over 2. So that's how it is. So the derivative is equal to, kopyahin yung exponent, 1/2. Kopyahin yung x, 1/2, bawasan ng 1. So it will become 1/2 x to the power of 1/2 minus 1, it's negative 1/2. So this is the answer. Kapag gusto mong gawing positive, ilagay mo lang siya sa denominator. So denominator, ilagay mo siya sa baba, magiging x to the power of 1/2. Ang negative, magiging positive. So this is the answer. For number 4, y is equal to x. So to find the derivative, again, other than using this one, the apostrophe, you could also use this one, dy over dx. Ibig sabihin yan, derivative of y. So the derivative of y is equal to, kapag walang exponent, the exponent is 1. So, 1. X to the power of, kopyahin yung exponent 1, bawasan ng 1. So, it will become 1 to the power 1, x to the power of 0. Any number whose exponent is 0 is equal to 1. So, 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. So, in short, kapag variable lang siya dito, the answer is always 1. Kapag ang exponent ng variable is 1, the answer is 1. Alam mo, kung x, y lang yan dyan, or a, it's also equal to 1. For rule number 3, it's the constant multiple rule. Constant multiple rule states that if f of x is equals to k times h of x, where k is a constant, then the derivative of f of x is equal to k times the derivative of h of x. So to make you understand it more easily, we're going to have the example. Example number 1 is f of x is equals to 5x to the power of 3/4. So if you notice, ang kaibahan niya dito is yung may constant dito katabi ng variable. So dito may constant rin ng katabi ang variable. So what you're going to do if may constant ganito, if it will become the derivative of f of x is equal to 5 times, kunin mo lang derivative nitong may exponent. So that's how easy it is. Times mo lang. Diba kung may derivative ng exponent, power rule, kopyahin yung 3/4 times, kopyahin yung x, tapos kopyahin yung 3/4, bawasan ng 1, which is equal to 5 times 3, times mo lang yan siya, 15 over 4. Copy the denominator, x to the power of 3/4 minus 1 is equal to negative 1/4. So, kung gusto mong gawing positive ang exponent, so 15 over 4, ilagay mo sa denominator, gawin mong positive. So, this is the answer. Next, number 2. Number 2, if it is 1/3 cube root of x. So, cube root of x. So, to make it easier, 1/3 x to the power of, exponent ni 1 is 1/3. So, cube root of x, so, magiging 1/3. So, derivative is equal to 1/3. Kopyahin mo munang 1/3. Tapos next, derivative nito, kopyahin mo si exponent no 1/3. Kopyahin mo si x, 1/3 na exponent, bawasan mo ng 1. So, it is equal to 1 times 1, 1, 3 times 3, 9, x to the power of 1/3 minus 1, it's negative 2/3. So, kung gawin mong positive, 9x 2/3. This is the answer. Next, number 3. So, number 3, so, again, the derivative of h of x is equal to negative square root of 3, that is constant, times the derivative of x is 1. Diba? It's in our first example, derivative of x is equals to 1. So the answer is negative square root of 3. Because negative square root of 3 times 1 is negative square root of 3. The same lang dito, kapag 3x, automatically, ang derivative nga is 3. Kasi ang derivative ng x is 1. So 3 times 1, 3. So the answer is 3. Next, number 4, the sum rule. The sum rule, if f of x is equal to g of x plus h of x, where g and h are differentiable functions, then the derivative of f of x is equal to the derivative of g of x plus the derivative of h of x. So, ang gagawin lang dito is, kunin mo lang derivative nito, kunin mo lang ang derivative nito, i-plus mo lang. So, derivative of f of x is equal to 5. We have solved it already. Ang derivative nito, again, kunin mo lang ang derivative nito, kunin mo lang ang derivative nito, tapos i-plus lang. So, what's the derivative of this one? It's 15 over 4x 1/4, according to our solving a while ago. Plus, derivative nito, it's the same with number 2. So, it's 1 over 9x 2/3. Can you add this? No. Next, number 2, this is minus. So, if you notice, or if you do know, ang minus, pwede rin siyang equal sa plus, negative. So, it could be negative 3x minus 3x, or negative square root of 3x plus negative 3x. it's so that it would be under the sum rule kasi sum, it's plus. But if it is minus, pwede mo na lang siyang kopyahin agad na minus. So, f prime, so it is equal to negative square root of 3 minus 3. Kasi kapag x lang, so it is equal to 1. So, kopyahin mo lang total kasi negative square root of 3 times 1 minus 3 times 1. So, can you subtract this one? No. If you have calculator, you could subtract this. But if you don't, so let it be. So let's proceed with rule number 5. Rule number 5 is the product rule. The product rule states that if f and g are differentiable functions, then d of x, dx, or this is also, ang ibig sabihin nito is derivative also. So, we know na this is also derivative rin ito, derivative rin ang ibig sabihin yan. So, we have known 3 symbols for derivative. So, ang mangyayari niyan, kopyahin mo muna ang pinakaunang functions, kunin mo ang derivative ng second. Plus, kopyahin mo ang second, kunin mo ang derivative ng first. So, for this one. So, f prime, kopyahin mo yung first, pwede actually magka-interchange. So, ito munang kopyahin mo ko, tapos kunin mo derivative dito. But let's just follow this one. So, kopyahin mo yung first, kunin mo derivative niyan. So, power rule. Kopyahin mo exponent, kopyahin variable, kopyahin mo exponent, minus 1. Minus, kunin mo derivative ng 3x. So, it's 3. Kasi kapag may x lang, it's also, pwede mo yung i-cancel, yan na siya. Next, plus, copy plus. Next, ang second na naman ang kopyahin, x squared minus 3x. Kunin mong derivative ng first na function. So, the derivative of this one, 3 times x squared. So, derivative of x squared is exponent, copy the variable, 2, copy 2 minus 1. Derivative of a constant is 0. So, minus 0 or just cancel it out. Next, simplify muna natin. 3x squared minus 4, 2x minus 3. It's 2x because 2 minus 1 is 1, or x to the 1, or simply x. Plus, copy x squared minus 3x. So, 3 times 2, 6, x to the power of 1. So, x or x minus 0. So, you could cancel this out. So, next, distribute. Ay, times natin yan siya. So, 3x squared times 2x, it's 3x squared times 2x is 6x cubed. So, 6x cubed. Next, times negative 9x squared times negative 8x times negative times negative is positive 12 plus times it's 6x cubed minus times 18x squared. Combine like terms, yung mga x cubed muna. So 6x cubed plus 6x cubed, it's equal to 12x cubed. Yung may x squared, negative 9 minus 18. So negative 9 minus 18 is negative 27x squared. Next, wala siyang kapartner, so just copy. Wala rin siyang kapartner, so just copy. So this is the answer. 12x cubed minus 27x squared minus 8x plus 12. So that's rule number 5. Rule number 6 is the quotient rule. The quotient rule, let f of x is equal and g of x be two differentiable functions with g of x not equal to 0. So g of x not equal to 0 because it will be undefined if it is equal to 0. So the formula is, it's almost the same with the multiplication, pero dito, nauna yung sa baba, copy yung sa baba, kunin ang derivative ng sa taas, minus, copy sa taas, kunin derivative sa baba, over yung sa baba is squared. So, for example, so ito, so derivative of h of x is equal to, copy yung sa baba, x squared plus 4, kunin ang derivative ng sa taas. So, derivative slowly 3x muna siya. So 3x, 3 plus 5 plus derivative of a constant is 0. So plus 0 minus, copy yung sa taas, 3x plus 5. Kunin ang derivative sa baba. So derivative ng x squared plus 4. X squared is, copy yung exponent, x 2 minus 1 plus constant, derivative of constant is 0 over g of x squared. So kopyahin mo lang yung x squared plus 4 squared. Next, it's simplified. X squared plus 4 times 3 plus 0 is 3 minus 3x plus 5, copy 2, x to the power of 2 minus 1, it's 1, so 2x lang, plus 0, so over x squared plus 4 squared. So simplify, multiply 3x squared plus 12 minus 6x squared plus 5 times 2, 10x over x squared plus 4 squared. So, mataas pala ito. 3x squared plus 12 magiging negative. Kasi negative times positive, negative 10x over x squared plus 4 squared. This is also equal to 3, kung may mga squared mo na. So 3x minus 6x squared. X squared minus 6x squared is negative 3x squared. So minus yung may x, 10x plus 12 over x squared plus 4 squared. So this is the answer. So complicated yung quotient rule. Next is differentiating trigonometric functions. So trigonometric functions, all you have to do is to just familiarize with this one. Kapag derivative of sine is cosine x, derivative of cosine is negative sine x, derivative of tangent is secant squared x, derivative of a cotangent is negative cosecant squared x, derivative of secant is this one, derivative of cosecant is this one. So number 1, f of x is equal to secant x plus 3 cosecant x. So ang gagawin na natin is this one, derivative is equal to derivative of secant is this one, secant x tan x plus, copy plus 3, copy 3, derivative of cosecant is this one, so negative, so ilagay na lang natin negative dito so that it would be easy, cosecant x cotangent x. So pwede mong ma-add ito. So let's proceed with number 2. Number 2, this is quite complicated too. So g of x prime. So this one is product rule. So kunin mo muna yung first, kunin mo derivative ng second. So what's the derivative of sine x is cosine x plus, kunin mo naman yung second, kunin mo derivative ng first. So x squared, derivative is 2x 2 minus 1 minus, so this is for 3x cosine x. So minus 3x cosine x. So para kunin mong derivative, because there's two terms din sila. So product rule. Kupihin mo yung first, kunin mong derivative ng second. Plus, kupihin mo na naman yung second, kunin mo derivative ng first. So derivative of 3x is 3 plus 5 sine x. So copy 5. What's the derivative of sine x? It's cosine x. So cosine x. Next. So for that one, next is simplify x squared cosine x plus, maunahin natin to, 2x to the power of 1. So 2x sine x minus, negative siya. So distribute natin negative, negative 3x times negative, magiging positive na to siya. Sin x. Negative ito. So, distribute natin negative dito. So, magiging negative cosine x 3 cosine x plus 5 cosine x. So, next. If you notice, may magkapareho dyang may sin, tapos x sin x, x sin x. So, pwede natin yan i-plus. So, but yung ito x squared cosine x, ito cosine x lang. So, ang gagawin natin muna dito is copy this first. Plus, kasi wala siyang similar term, kasimilar. So, ito, pwede natin siyang ma-plus 2 plus 3, 5x sin x. Ito naman, pwede natin ma-minus. So, negative 3 plus 5, it's positive 2 cosine x. So, that's our answer, x squared cosine x plus 5x sin x plus 2 cosine x. The last one is the derivative of an exponential function. So, the derivative of an exponential function. So, number one, so the rule is if f of x is equals to ex, then the derivative is just the same, ex lang. So, number one, it's quite easy. So, 3, derivative nito, ex. Copy 3, derivative ni ex is ex. So, easy lang. Next, g of x, or the derivative of g of x is, let's have first x squared ex. So, two-term, product rule. So, kopyahin mo yung first. Kunin mo derivative nito, which is ex, plus, kopyahin mo naman yung second. Kunin mo derivative ni first. So, times negative 4 times 2x 2 minus 1. Hindi pala ito kasha. Plus 5x ex. So 5x ex. So product rule pa rin. So 5x tapos sa ex. So 5x, derivative niya, ex. Plus, kopyahin mo siya, derivative niya, 5. Minus 10ex. So, copy 10, derivative ni ex pa rin. Sorry for that. So, equal to negative, simplify, 4x squared ex plus na natin. So, negative 4 times 2, negative 8, x2 minus 1, x to the 1, or x, ex, plus, copy, 5x ex, copy rin yan siya, times 5. So, unahin natin yung 5ex, minus 10ex. So, if that would be the case, may kapareho ba siya? No. So, just copy. Negative 4x squared ex. Ito, xex. Ito rin, xex. So, pwede natin silang i-simplify. Negative 8 plus 5, it's negative 3x ex. Ito, pwede ba? Yes. 5 minus 10, it's negative 5 ex. So, that's our answer. The last one. H of x is equals to ex sin x minus 3 ex cosine x. So, kunin muna natin derivative. So, first, ex sin x. So, dalawang term. So, product rule. So, copy the first. Kunin derivative ni sin x. Derivative ni sin x is cosine x. Plus, copy the second. Kunin derivative ni first na ex. Ex pa rin. Minus 3ex cosine x. So, dalawa. Copy the first. Kunin derivative ni second. Negative sin x. Plus, copy the second. Cosine x. Kunin derivative nito, which is the same. Same times 3ex. Sorry for that again, ang space. So, next. Simplify. Ex cosine x plus ex sin x minus negative times negative, positive. So, 3ex sin x. Negative times positive, negative. 3ex cosine x. Next, may magkatulad ba? Ito EX cosine X, EX sin X. So, magkatulad sila. So, kapag walang number, katabi, ibig sabihin may mga 1 yan sila. So, 1 minus 3, it's negative 2. So, negative 2 EX cosine X. Ito magkatulad sila. 1 plus 3, 4. So, plus 4 EX sin X. So those are the rules, the differentiation rules that we need to familiarize.